Elena Carter had exactly $17.42 left in her bank account, and that was before the bus fare she needed to get to her second job. The rain-soaked city streets of Brookhaven made her cheap sneakers squelch with each step, but she didn't care. She'd just come from the pediatric ward where her sister's baby, Lily, was fighting for her tiny life. She clutched her cracked phone, scrolling through her contacts, searching for the number her friend Mia had promised belonged to a charity director who might help cover Lily's medical bills. In her exhaustion, Elena barely noticed her trembling fingers mistyping one digit before pressing send on the long, desperate text. Greater than, please, I don't know who else to turn to. My niece needs urgent surgery. I can work off any debt, clean floors, anything. Please just help us. I can't lose her. Across the city, in a glass-walled office on the top floor of Harlington Industries, CEO Alexander Harlington glanced at his buzzing phone. He was in the middle of reviewing a merger proposal when the message appeared. His first instinct was that it was some scam. They always started with an emotional hook. But there was something raw, unpolished, almost painfully real about this one. Instead of deleting it, he typed back a curt reply. Greater than, wrong number. I'm not who you think I am. Minutes later, another buzz. Greater than, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bother you. I'm just desperate. Alexander almost ignored it, but something about the apology tugged at him. The tone wasn't manipulative, it was exhausted. He asked a single question. Greater than, where is the baby now? When she replied with the name of Brookhaven Memorial Hospital, his fingers hovered over the keyboard before he put the phone down. This wasn't his problem. He had board meetings, investors breathing down his neck, and a company to run. But for the rest of the afternoon, the image of some nameless young woman pacing a hospital corridor wouldn't leave him. By evening, Elena had all but forgotten about the exchange. She was scrubbing tables at the diner when her phone rang. It wasn't the hospital about Lily, it was the same unknown number. Alexander's voice was deep, authoritative, and curious. I'm still not sure why I'm calling, he admitted, but I might be able to help. Tell me what's going on. She told him, haltingly at first, then in a rush, about Lily's rare heart condition, her sister being too ill to work, the mounting bills. Alexander didn't make promises, just listened. When she hung up, she felt both foolish and oddly lighter. Hours later, Alexander was leaving a late dinner meeting when his phone rang again. This time, it was the hospital. Mr. Harlington, the nurse's voice was urgent. We have you listed as the emergency contact for a newborn under the name Elena Carter. The mother isn't here. We need you to come immediately. When Alexander arrived at Brookhaven Memorial, the fluorescent lights and antiseptic smell were familiar. His company had donated to this wing years ago. The nurse ushered him into a quiet room where a tiny infant lay swaddled in a bassinet. This baby was admitted under the name Elena Carter, the nurse explained, but we can't reach her. You're listed as the contact. He frowned. There must be a mistake. I only spoke to her today, I'm not. But then he saw the folded note tucked in the blanket. In hurried handwriting, greater than, I had no choice. Please look after her until I can explain. Alexander's chest tightened. Why would a stranger trust him, a man she'd never met, with something so huge? Meanwhile, Elena was running down the dim corridor of another part of the hospital. She'd left her phone in the locker at the diner when her sister's condition suddenly worsened. Her sister, pale and breathless, had pressed a trembling hand into Elena's and whispered, if anything happens, take care of her. Take care of my baby. But complications had sent her sister into emergency surgery, and the staff had moved the baby without telling her where. When Elena finally burst into the neonatal wing, she stopped short. Through the glass window, she saw Alexander, tall, immaculately dressed, an incongruous figure in the hospital, holding her niece with surprising gentleness. She pushed through the door. That's Lily, she breathed, tears in her eyes. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean for. Alexander turned toward her, a dozen unasked questions in his gaze. You trusted me, he said quietly, before we even met. Why? Elena swallowed hard. Because, you called back. No one else did. By morning, her sister was stable, and Lily was sleeping soundly. Alexander had arranged for the hospital bills to be handled without fanfare. Elena didn't know if she should thank him or be wary of what it might cost. When she asked why he'd done it, he gave a faint smile. Sometimes, he said, The wrong number is the right call. And though she didn't yet know it, that one mistaken text would change both their lives, not just for a day, but for years to come.